curious about working with ketamine often ask, how long will this treatment last? And the honest answer is that there's going to be a little bit of variation in each person's trajectory because this is treatment that is really tailored to your needs. But here's sort of a basic idea about how it might look. We would begin our relationship by having a 20-minute call to talk about working together. If we choose to work together, we'll have our first session, and that's called the intake. During this time, I'll get to know a little bit more about you. I'll really try to understand your needs, and together we'll start to develop a treatment plan. During this appointment, I'll also refer you to a medical doctor colleague, and you'll have an intake appointment with them. Once the medical doctor determines that ketamine is an appropriate medication for you, they'll send a prescription to a compounding pharmacy, and the compounding pharmacy will mail your ketamine to your home. After the intakes, we'll move into a preparatory phase. So for the next couple sessions, I'll provide education to support your understanding about ketamine-assisted psychotherapy. And this is a time for us to really get to know each other, for me to answer your questions, for us to start to develop a relationship, and to make sure that you feel comfortable and ready for your first session with ketamine. After the preparatory phase, we'll have your first ketamine-assisted psychotherapy session. This will be a 3 to 4 hour session that happens via telehealth. For most of my clients, it's 3 hours. And I'm with you throughout this entire time, guiding you, holding space for you, and working with you. During this session, you're going to be self-administering the ketamine, and we'll really be engaging in therapy. There's 3 to 6 ketamine-assisted psychotherapy sessions that will happen in total. But after that initial ketamine-assisted therapy session, we're going to space them out with a phase called integration. And depending on what you feel like you need, we'll have 2 to 3 integration sessions. And this is a really vital phase to the work because the integration helps me to support you in taking what happens during the ketamine session, looking at all of those insights that came up and taking that content and figuring out how can we look at maybe small changes in your understanding of self or how the day-to-day looks, or even interpret calls to action that you might have received. After the integration phase, we would have another ketamine-assisted psychotherapy session and then repeat integration. Like I said earlier, the ketamine-assisted therapy sessions would happen 3 to 6 times. And it's part of my role to support you in making a choice that works for you. As you consider, do I want to continue and have more ketamine-assisted therapy sessions or in treatments? So it's a choice that's really based on your needs and preferences. I can say, though, that some people who work with me feel really complete after a few sessions, while others find that this is a very effective tool for them, and they want to explore other issues with ketamine-assisted psychotherapy, so they choose to have another few sessions. Finally, when our work feels complete together, we have a closing session, and during that time, it's really special. We review your progress and celebrate what shifted in life. So I hope that this gives you sort of a basic idea of how this trajectory might look. And I'm happy to answer questions based on your individual path. If you want to explore working together, you can go to my homepage, www.oliviaclear.com, and schedule an initial 20-minute consultation. I've also added this really beautiful flowchart for those who are visual learners. So I really hope that this helps support your understanding in what this work might look like.